Dana Carter was not the kind of person anyone expected to see in a courtroom. At just 22 years old, she was an engineering student, quiet, focused, and known more for solving equations than causing trouble. She had no criminal record, no history of violence, no reason to ever be on a police radar. Her world revolved around blueprints, exams, and late nights in the university library. Until one night, everything changed. On March 12th, 2021, a convenience store was robbed at gunpoint. Minutes later, police lights flashed across wet pavement just blocks away. Dana stood there, confused, as officers placed her in handcuffs. She kept asking the same question. There must be a mistake. But to the police, the case looked simple. Days later, Dana sat alone in a courtroom. The charge, armed robbery. If convicted, she could face years behind bars. Her parents sat silently behind her. The prosecutor looked confident, and Dana realized something terrifying. Everyone already assumed she was guilty. The store clerk took the stand. He pointed directly at Dana. "That's her," he said. He claimed he saw the suspect's eyes clearly. He claimed he would never forget that face. The jury leaned forward. Eyewitness testimony can be powerful, but it can also be wrong. Next came the hoodie, a gray sweatshirt found in Dana's car. It looked similar to the one worn by the masked robber in security footage. The prosecutor held it up dramatically. Same color, same style. To the jury, it seemed convincing. But gray hoodies are common. Very common. Then came the final piece. Security cameras had captured a car like Dana's near the store that night. Dark sedan, same model, parked just 2 streets away. To the prosecution, it formed a perfect triangle of guilt. Eyewitness, hoodie, car, case closed. Or so they thought. Halfway through the trial, something unexpected happened. Dana stood up and dismissed her public defender. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. She would represent herself. The judge warned her of the risks, but Dana had been studying something carefully, and she believed something wasn't adding up.
Late at night in her holding cell, she reviewed every page of the police report, every timestamp, every statement, every detail. And then she saw it, a timeline inconsistency. The robbery was reported at 9:18 p.m., but the patrol car that arrested her logged contact at 9:16 p.m., 2 minutes earlier. It was impossible. The next morning, Dana stood in court, alone, facing the store clerk. Her voice was calm. "Sir, how well lit was the store that night?" He hesitated. "It was normal lighting." "Normal," she repeated. "And you were under stress?" "Yes." "And the suspect wore a mask?" "Yes." The certainty in his voice began to fade. Dana continued. "Is it true that one of the overhead lights near the counter was malfunctioning?" The clerk shifted uncomfortably. "Yes, it flickered." "And the suspect stood directly beneath that flickering light?" Silence. The jury exchanged glances. Then she displayed the store layout, highlighted in red, a blind spot in the security camera coverage. "Isn't it true," Dana asked, "that the suspect entered through this blind area?" The clerk swallowed. "Yes." "So the camera never captured a clear front-facing image?" "No, it didn't." Doubt had entered the room. Then Dana revealed something the prosecution had overlooked: her phone records. Cell tower data placed her device nearly 5 miles away at the exact time of the robbery. She projected the map onto the courtroom screen. Pinpoint location, timestamp verified. The prosecutor's confidence vanished. The prosecutor scrambled through his notes, but there was no rebuttal, no explanation, no counter-evidence. For the first time since the trial began, the narrative had shifted. The judge called for a brief recess. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. When proceedings resumed, the tension was almost unbearable. Every eye was on the jury. The foreperson stood. "We find the defendant not guilty." Dana closed her eyes, not in celebration, but in relief. Her name was cleared. Weeks later, another suspect was arrested, caught on unrelated charges, and linked to the robbery. The real criminal had been out there all along. Dana stepped outside the courthouse into the warm evening light. Free, but changed. She had defended herself when the system nearly failed her. The justice system is powerful, but it is not perfect. Eyewitnesses can be mistaken. Evidence can be misinterpreted. Timelines can be flawed. Due process matters, because sometimes the difference between freedom and prison is one overlooked detail. If you believe justice deserves scrutiny, subscribe to Case File Room, because the next verdict might surprise you.